Students, I'm Shobha, Science Faculty from Mangala Vidya Mandira. Today, let us learn the 6th chapter in our science, that is tissues. Hope you all remember the fundamental and structural unit of all living organisms is called cells. Yes. So this cells we have learnt in our previous classes. So what is meaning of cells and what are the types of cells, what are the constituents of the cells. Now let us learn about a little more higher version of the cells, that is when the cells are joined together, it is called as tissues. So in the earlier class, as I said, you have learnt about plant cell and animal cells. Similarly, there is a difference, right? Similarly, in the tissues also there are different types of tissues where they are performing different functions. So let us learn about these tissues and its functions. Tissues is a group of cells having similar structures and functions. In plants and animals, groups of cells are called as tissues which carry out certain specific function. For example, in case of human beings, the cells of muscular tissues contract and relax and help in movements. So this particular tissues helps only in the contraction and relaxation. Similarly, in the plants, there are a set of cells which is called as vascular tissue, which conducts water and food from one part of the plant to another part of the plant. So these vascular tissues are mainly concerned for the transportation of food and water. So as you came to know, there is some difference between animal tissues and plant tissues. So in this video, we are going to learn about the plant tissues. In the next video, let us learn about the animal tissues. Plant tissues, once again, there are two types. One is meristematic tissue, another one is permanent tissue. First, let us move to the meristematic tissue. Meristem is a tissue in most plants containing undifferentiated cells and found in the zones of the plant where the growth has to take place. These tissues are mainly meant for the growth of the plants. There are three types of meristematic tissues: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. So first let us study the characteristics of this meristematic tissue. This meristematic tissues consist of the cells which are very thin and have the cell wall which is elastic and made up of cellulose. All the cell wall in the plants are made up of cellulose. And the cells may be round in shape, oval in shape, polygonal or rectangular in shape. They are also compact and having no intercellular spaces. Compact means very compact, small in size, and they have intercellular spaces. I'll show you it in the picture. So the space between the two cells will be called as intercellular spaces. There is a large nucleus, big nucleus, and abundant cytoplasm, means more cytoplasm is there. The protoplasm contains very few or no vacuoles at all. Protoplasm is except nucleus. The remaining cytoplasm content will be called as protoplasm. Together nucleus, it will be called as cytoplasm. So you know about vacuoles also. So it is a storage organ. It can store the dead that is wasting as well as the which is required for the cells. So there will be only few or there will be no vacuoles in this meristematic tissues. So as I told, there are three types. This is because the three types of meristems are present in different positions. Apical meristem, can you see the position? Intercalary where it is present and lateral where it is present. So what is this apical meristem? As the name suggests, it is present in the apex. Apex means tip of the root and the shoots. So they help in the plant's linear growth. So wherever they are present, they help in their growth. Linear means lengthwise. The roots also get on extending downwards, and the apex, the tip of the shoot system, also go on extending. So apical meristem helps in the lengthwise growth of the plant. Next, lateral meristem. So the lateral meristems are present on the sides of the plant and they help in the breadth-wise or the girth-wise growth of the plant. Like plant, when it has to become a tree, you could just compare the size of the stem in the plant and the tree. So same plant, when it has increased in its size, the girth, the breadth of that plant is being increased. That is mainly because of this lateral meristem. Intercalary meristem, it is present in between the nodes. Nodes means it is a place where the branching starts, and internodes means the space between the two nodes is there, that is called as internodes. And the leaves, wherever the leaf starts, on all these places sideways branchings are possible because of this intercalary meristems. Again, it also help in the lengthwise growth of the plant. So this is all about the meristematic tissue. Now we are going to permanent tissue, that is the second type of plant tissue, that is called as permanent tissue. This permanent tissues arises from meristematic tissue only. After meristematic tissues have done its part, they will be converted into permanent tissues. So they gradually lose their power of division, and they acquire definite shape, size and functions. They will not be changing, because in the earlier case it was elastic, right? Here it becomes rigid. These tissues may be living or dead. Some tissues will be living or some tissues will be dead. There are two main types of permanent tissues. One is simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So now first let us learn about simple permanent tissues. These tissues comprises of same types of cells which perform the same function and all arises from the same origin. Same cells, after continuous division they form this tissue. Again here it is having three types. One is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. I said na, intercellular spaces. In the picture you can see, in the first picture, the space between the cells are called as intercellular spaces. So now let us learn about the parenchyma. This parenchyma cells are living cells, living in state. Why I am telling this was, some of the complex tissue, permanent tissues will be either living or dead. So here the parenchyma and collenchyma will be living, but sclerenchyma will be in the dead condition. And the cell wall is also very thin, and it is having some intercellular spaces or may not be having spaces also, and they are not having any specialized cells, that is no such speciality is there. Wherever the plant is having unspecialized cells, there and all you can see parenchyma cells. Most of the plant cells will be parenchyma only, and there will be no deposition with except this cellulose. So only cellulose deposition is there on the cell wall, so other extra things are not there. It is having nucleus, cytoplasm and vacuole. These are the characteristics of parenchyma cells. Under this parenchyma only you are having another two more types. If at all this parenchyma cells consist of intracellular spaces, if that intracellular spaces is covered by or filled by air, then it is called as aerenchyma. If the same intracellular spaces is covered with chlorophyll, then it is called as chlorenchyma. Where the aerenchyma tissues will be present means in all aquatic plant. So you know the heavier thing sinks in the water and the lighter things floats on the water. But even though the plant is heavier, aquatic plants are heavier in nature, they start floating on the water. That is because of this buoyancy. Buoyancy is because the air has been filled in that intracellular spaces. Similarly, the chlorenchyma, all the green plants prepare their own food by the help of photosynthesis and chlorophyll. So the space will be covered with chlorophyll, hence it is called as chlorenchyma. Next we'll move to collenchyma. Collenchyma, your cells are somewhat elongated, that has become oval in shape, and the cell wall is very thin except angular. Angular means you can see the intracellular spaces in that where the dark is there. So there and all it is extracellulose deposited, but in the sideways it is very thin cell wall and there is no intracellular spaces. Everything is being covered with cellulose only. They are living, but distinct nucleus and protoplasm is there. Then what is its function is, it provides flexibility to the cell, that is the plant, and also it gives mechanical support and strength. So it supports the plant. Without any stick, a plant, if it starts standing on its own, that is because collenchyma tissues will be there. Next it is sclerenchyma. This is a dead tissue. It is in providing mechanical stiffness. This is because here apart from cellulose, you are having hemicellulose and lignin. All these are the different types of carbohydrates. They will be deposited on the cell wall. So it becomes very thick and very hard. So under this you are having two more types. One is called as fibers, another one is called as sclerites. So fibers, an example I can give you is coconut fibers. How hard it is there, na? That is because of this depositions only. Sclerites is nothing but the coconut shell. That is also an meristematic tissue which was later on converted into the sclerenchyma. That is permanent tissue. Okay, so this we have completed about simple permanent tissue. Now let us move to the complex permanent tissue. In complex, as your name suggests, it is little bit complex compared to the simple permanent tissue. It is mainly of two types. One is xylem, another one is phloem. So xylem is called as the water conducting tissue. Phloem will be called as the food conducting tissue. So xylem vessels will be present starting from the roots till the shoot system. So water will be conducted through this from root to shoot, and it also supports and leaving it also gives the support to the plant because it is the tube length, like so mechanical support will be given. And also it is having some parenchyma cells for its work to be done easily. You can see the xylem vessels, it is called as xylem cells. Each cells will be connected one after the other, where it will be having some perforation holes with better transportation of the water will takes place. And from one xylem vessels also it can transfer to the other xylem vessel through the pits. So two xylem cells together is called as xylem tracheids. So next let us move to this phloem. So phloem, its function is to transport sugar from one part to the other. Sugar is nothing but food. So one part is nothing but leaves to different parts of the plant, and it is made up of sieve tubes. You can see the sieve tubes and companion cells. So both they should function together, then only it see in the companion cell only are having nucleus. In the sieve tubes no nucleus at all. So if the sieve tube has to work, companion cells has to work. So they are called as, sometimes they are together called as sister cells also. So there is between two cells you can see some holes, so where the food will be transferred. So xylem and phloem, since both are being involved in transportation, they are called as vascular bundles or vascular tissue. Vascular means transportation. So this tissues which is involved in the transportation are called as vascular tissues, or it might be represented as vascular bundles. So this is what we have learned today, students. Plant tissues, it is having meristematic and permanent, and in that we have studied different subtypes. Hope you have understood plant tissues. In the next video we will study about the animal tissues. Thank you, students.